So let's talk about some of Juventus' rival, and one in particular that I know you think could push them all the way this campaign, and that is Inter Milan. A lot of speculation about Lukaku making the move to Inter. This is brilliant from Conte. It's long, but stick with me. Lukaku is a United player. This is the reality. You know very well I like this player. In the past, when I was Chelsea coach, I tried to bring him to Chelsea, but I repeat today, Lukaku is a player of Manchester United. This is the reality and this is the truth. I think that in this moment, we're talking about a player of another club. For this reason, it's right I don't talk about Lukaku. Wait, there's more. I have great respect for United. As I said before, for sure, I consider this player, I like this player, I consider him an important player for us to improve. There is a market. We know our situation. We'll see what happens. Now Lukaku is United's player. Brilliant. Love it.
So with Lukaku, Conte, when he was at Juve, he always had two strikers up front. One big one, back to goal, and one smaller, quicker one. And I think he's trying to devise, in his perfect 11, Lautaro, the Argentine, alongside Lukaku. Those two have very different characteristics. I think that actually fit in very well together. He's made no shame of it, Conte, that he wanted Lukaku when he was the Chelsea manager, but United offered more money. So this is a player that he's long admired, and a player that Inter and Suning are going to have to cough up a lot of money for. Suning right now don't believe he is worth as much as United have said he is, according to their valuation. So this is going to be one where it's Conte trying to sway the owners to pay more than they feel comfortable with, because right now that starting 11 is incomplete. They're missing the new Icardi.
But the older Icardi's still there. And the older Icardi's better than Lukaku, isn't he?
Not sure about that.
Really?
He's a better goal scorer, but the problem with Icardi, in my opinion, is that when he's not scoring, he's a ghost. You don't see him. He's not someone that invites the rest of the players in, and he's not a hard-working striker, which is something Conte demands in his front men, to be the first line of defense. One of the knocks on Icardi has been he's too stationary, he's too static, and I actually don't really know what the fit is for Icardi right now, because I'm not sure if it's Juve. I don't think he would start on Juve right now. I think it's going to be Ronaldo there in the center. So maybe a team like Roma or a Napoli, a kind of second-tier team behind the truly top sides in Serie A. But I'm not sure if Lukaku is a worse player than Icardi. It's going to be difficult to score as much as Icardi did in the mid-20s, but certainly a player that Conte believes is perfect for his system.
What do you think, Stevie?
I think if Lukaku could hold the ball better, then he would be perfect. You know, you think of Juventus, he had Mandzukic who can hold the ball up for fun. Diego Costa, whatever you think about him, he can hold the ball up and bring other people in. But the truth is, Lukaku can't do that. Not at the highest level he can't. So I'm not a huge fan of Lukaku.
So this is a huge mistake from Inter's perspective.
I'm not going to say a huge mistake. I'm going to tell you that you better be prepared if you play for Inter, if you're a teammate of Lukaku's, that you're going to make runs and then you're going to have to come back because he's not going to keep the ball. Now, the question is, not is it a waste of money? Where else do you spend the money?
Right.
There's not, you know, there are only so many of these types of players around, and regardless of how good or how bad they are, if that's the type of player you want, eventually you're going to have to take somebody.
But do you not put an arm around Icardi and say, come on, we're in this together, I'm going to get you back on board? No, that's gone. That ship has sailed.
Oh, yeah. Matteo's spot on when he said he doesn't. You know, if he's not scoring goals, he's not doing anything for you.
The thing with Conte and this Lukaku story, if he wants him so badly, can I not go to the ownership and say, look, I think he's offered 75 million or 80 million, whatever it is. United want another 5. I mean, come on, in the realm of things, is that really going to stop this deal going through? So if Conte is adamant that he wants this player, as he was at Chelsea, as he is now, then I think they pay the money.
It's going to go through, isn't it?
I think it will. Here's the problem, and I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right. The problem is they still need to sell Raja Nainggolan, who they've said is not in the plans. He could probably fetch, I'm not sure, 20, 30 million at this stage of his career. And Icardi, a player that a year ago was worth closer to 100 million, that now, from what I've heard, Juventus now waiting till the final weeks of the season to see if they can get Icardi massively discounted if no other teams go in for him.
Do Inter need the money in order to get Lukaku? Do Inter need the money? Because if they do,
well, it seems
I'm on the board, I'm saying to Conte, what are you doing? You're telling the whole world that you want nothing to do with Icardi, you want nothing to do with Nainggolan. That has got cut price written all over it for anybody who's interested in these guys.
11 points, let's not forget, separated the top two at the top of the Serie A standings last season as Juventus romped to their 8th straight Italian title. You take a look at the odds for this season. Obviously, Juventus are massive favourites. Odds on once again, 4-9 on. Inter, though, are second favourites at 5-1.
I agree with this. I think Inter are the quote-unquote anti-Juve, the team that can actually push them. The difference between this upcoming campaign to the ones we've seen now for 5-6 years is I don't think Juventus is going to win the Scudetto in December like they've been. I think
they went the Napoli year. They went all the way.
No, that was one. But then the final month of the season, Napoli stumbled as they have done now every single season. That people think, wow, they finally have a real challenger. The reason for Inter, though, is Antonio Conte. He is a manager that's shown that in Serie A, his method, this 3-5-2 that now not that many teams play in Serie A. It seemed like it was all the rage when he was at Juve, but now he's actually going to be one of the fewer teams that's using the system. It's incredibly effective. He can hold on to a 1-0 result better than most managers in the league, and I think that this defense, Skriniar, Godin, and De Vrij, that is one of the best defenses in Europe, and they're not going to concede. That's the real problem for other teams.
I suppose, in comparison, though, to the Juventus team, where are your stars? Where are your game winners?
And that's exactly it. They're banking on two signings there, Stefano Sensi and Nico Barella, two young Italian players. They're hoping that Barella can become their new, let's say, Nainggolan, so to speak, and that Sensi can be Marco Verratti 2.0. He's a small, diminutive, deep-line playmaker, very talented player. But you're right, they're players that right now aren't household names. They're not stars that are known throughout the world, but they're players on the rise, and I get why they spent the money. These are players that are going to keep growing in value and probably growing in stature.
For more, sign up now for ESPN Plus.